Narcissistic behavior signs not to be ignored. 18 ways to spot a narcissist. When you think about the people you come into contact with every day, whether it be a friend, romantic partner or colleague, do any of the following seem to ring a bell? If so, you may be dealing with a narcissist. Most people are sort of in the middle, though some are more extreme than others. Interacting with a narcissist can be draining, and that's why it's important to be able to identify them, especially if you have a date with one. 1. They're likable, at least, at first glance. Narcissists tend to be great at first impressions, coming across as very charismatic and personable, which is also why they can perform quite well in job interviews. Often the image you see of someone who is narcissistic at the beginning could be very positive, but over a longer term, it turns out to be more negative. So that's where the surprise comes in. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the person I just hired, and now look at what I'm dealing with. 2. Not all narcissists are loud and proud. In fact, some are quiet and shy. While the loud and braggy types are the ones people usually picture when thinking about narcissists, they can actually be quiet and reserved. That there's actually two kinds of expressions of narcissism: grandiose, which is where the bragging and showing off is exhibited, and shy, where a person may not be as forthright, or be out there with a bullhorn, but is sitting in the corner, fantasizing about when their day will come, and resenting others. That's not to say that narcissists are always either grandiose or shy. In most people, there's elements of both shy narcissism and grandiose narcissism. We like to put people in a box. But when you look at how these personality traits present themselves, you see separation only at extreme levels. 3. They can often be found in leadership roles. Not that makes them good leaders, notes researcher Jean Twenge, co-author of The Narcissism Epidemic with Campbell. But narcissists often find themselves in leadership positions because people who are narcissistic want to be leaders. They don't necessarily make better leaders, but they want to do it, so they're more likely to end up in those positions. 4. They always manage to make the conversation about themselves. You could start talking to a person about how you have cancer, and pretty soon you're talking about their new car. 5. They're also guilty of name dropping. It's all in the name of self-promotion and making themselves seem better, which includes the tactic of name-dropping. 6. Not every story a narcissist tells is one of victory. But even in the stories of tragedy or failure, there's an air of entitlement and victimization. Narcissists will often tell stories about themselves, sometimes repeating the same story over and over again, and many times, the story will be about an instance of personal heroism or an exploit. But even when a story is of something negative that happened, it'll never be the narcissist's fault. There's more emotional victimization. There's still an air of self-reference, about not being understood or people not recognizing your value. It's about me and how I'm great, but others aren't realizing it. 7. They like nice things. Now, we're not saying that all shopaholics or materialistic people are narcissists, or that all narcissists are also shopaholics. But one of the hallmark traits of narcissism is the desire to display high status, and this is often done with material items. One place to differentiate it is that sometimes the shopaholic will tell you what good a deal she got on something, and the narcissist is more likely to emphasize how prestigious or status-oriented the thing is. The really prototypical example: they drive up in a Ferrari, but they won't tell you what a good deal they got on it. 8. Appearance is everything to them. Narcissists are not necessarily more attractive than other people, but they do take care of their appearance and place an importance on looking physically attractive. Not everyone who makes a point to take care of their appearance is a narcissist, but well-applied nails, hair and so on would be an indicator. 9. They have lots of friends on social media, and not a single bad picture. People who are narcissistic use it to maintain status, and so what they do is they tend to have more attractive photos, and more self-promoting, broader networks, more friends, on Facebook. 10. They are strongly averse to criticism. While no one can honestly say they like receiving criticism, people with narcissism are hypersensitive to it. 11. Excuses are a narcissist's best friend. Narcissists tend to externalize blame, pinning the blame on everyone but themselves. They're good at making excuses and not taking credit for mistakes they make. 12. They leave a trail of wreckage behind them. Does this person have a history of bad relationships and work experiences? Consider that a red flag. With narcissist CEOs for instance, you'll see that they've gone into companies, kind of wrecked them, then moved on to something else. In relationships, they may have infidelity, which destroys that relationship, and then they'll move on to another one. 13. And in that vein, they may be more likely to cheat. That's because a narcissist won't put the feelings of the partner above his or her own. There's also the undeniable self-esteem boost that comes when you find out another person, even if that person is not your partner, is attracted to you. Together, these two elements help to explain why infidelity may be more common among narcissists. 14. Everything is personal. Particularly in the quieter narcissists, there may not be signs of overt self-reference and promotion. But there is defensiveness and reactive anger if they are not recognized or if they can't get their way. If you do something to the narcissist that he doesn't like, it means you're against him or you don't understand him. 15. A narcissistic person probably has no idea he or she is a narcissist. Narcissism in itself is sort of a double whammy, not just because you have disturbances or believe you're special in some way more than others, but because those things in themselves will prevent you from seeing that you have these problems. In the more shy narcissists who may also experience symptoms of depression or anxiety, those other things may spur them to get professional help. But the grandiose people, because they feel superior or because they may even have initial success, they're very unlikely to seek treatment. It would only be after they develop so many problems where they ask themselves, I feel so great, I know I'm awesome, but why did everybody leave me? 16. You find yourself resorting to flattery just to maintain the peace with a narcissist. While the best way to deal with a narcissist is to just cut the cord and run, there are certain circumstances where you have no choice but to deal with it. Maybe the narcissist is a family member, or maybe it's your boss. In these cases, flattery is the best way to avoid conflict. 17. Narcissists are not low in self-esteem. A common belief is that people who are high in narcissism are secretly low in self-esteem, but this just isn't true. As far as narcissists in a typical population are concerned, they have a very high self-esteem and don't have a deep-seated insecurity, as far as we can tell. Indeed, narcissists seem to be confident through and through. 18. Men are more likely to be narcissists than women. And the level of narcissism is higher among today's millennials than previous generations at similar ages. As far as whether some professions or cultures have more narcissists than others, more research is currently being done to determine that. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe button, and leave a comment below this video to let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions, please drop me a comment below this video, plus send me an email if you have any question by clicking the link below this video in the description, and I will be able to respond back to you as soon as possible.